This video is made for an adult audience. Hey brick fans, welcome back to the Brick Bakery, where all our jokes are half baked. I'm Jacob and today it's time to put in a radio station in my Lego city. In my last video, I put in a camera store in my Lego city, and right behind the camera store there is still an empty spot of land. I thought it would be a great idea to put in a radio station for my Lego city in that little spot of land. So let's go over to Bakersville and check out that project. Welcome back to Bakersville, everybody. Here we can see the area that I have been working on for the last 4, 5, maybe 6 videos. I started out with this corner building right here, which I think will end up being a pub. We got a music store over here, and the camera store I made last time is right over here. So that leaves this little area for a new building. Of course, this area is a little hidden behind everything that's going on, both here in the park and with this pub. But I think with the right building, it may not matter too much. And if it does, I think I can move this park somewhere else and leave a little more air for the buildings to be visible. The radio station building that I'm going to place right here is going to be inspired by an Art Deco style. I've never tried to replicate real-world architecture in my Lego city or in Lego just in general, so I'm really excited to try to do this, and we'll see how it turns out. But without further ado, let's get over to the build table and let's get started. This is the small area I will be working on today. The front of the building is going to be right here, pointing this way over here. And I do have a small drawing, small sketch of what I want to achieve with this building. You see, this is the general shape that I want to build. I'm not sure I can actually, because I'm not sure I have all the available pieces to make these rounded edges, but I think that these rounded edges is definitely what makes this building Art Deco. If you're not familiar with Art Deco, I think the official modular, the diner, creator expert diner, is probably the closest you'll get in official sets. But other than that, try to look it up on Google, because there are wonderful, wonderful buildings to be seen out there. Just type in Art Deco buildings and you'll get a lot of wonderful pictures. If you have any suggestions or maybe some experience on making Art Deco buildings in Lego, please let me know in the comments below. Yes, that's true. I have now turned on comments once again on my videos, so everyone can comment right here on YouTube. So head on down there and let me hear what you think about this Art Deco radio station. But without further ado, let's get on with this build. Here we got the first outline of the front of this building. Now, in my mind, Art Deco is something, it's kind of futuristic, but in a 1930s, 1940s sense, and that means something with long, straight shapes that rounds instead of squares. And I'm thinking that these should sort of rise up here and create sort of a frame looking almost like a jukebox, I think, which is much of what the diner does, the creator expert diner does as well. But I have a slightly different idea of how to do it and how it's going to look. I'm going to use red and tan as the main colors. Art Deco buildings are often very light, and if they have color, it's often pastels, I think. That's what I've been researching this a bit for the past week or so, and that's what I've been gathering. But I like my Lego buildings to be a bit more colorful than that. So adding red like this, I think is going to be the right way to go. So I will be constructing the front right here, and we'll see how everything goes. Here you can see the building really starting to come together. We've got these pillars going here and these long windows. I do imagine that these will continue all the way up on this first floor, and that means that I've got to have to sort of design this front in one piece and then have the floors in a separate piece that can be separated separately. So when you take off the first floor, you will actually, the front will still be standing. I've never done something like that before, and it's going to be interesting to try to do that, but we'll see how it works. However, I am already wondering if I'm going to have enough bricks for this, because these tans is apparently something I don't have too much of, so we'll see how long this lasts. The red is fine. I am wondering if I should put a window here now, or if I should make room for a sign, but maybe I could do both. I just remembered that I have a lot of these 1x, 2x5s, and they're going to be really good for filling out something like this. So I think it'll be all right piece-wise. I was worried for a second there if I had enough of these tan pieces, but having remembered these, I think this will go swimmingly. So on we go, making the rest of this front. So here we go. Now we come to one of the points that's going to be a little interesting actually, because the middle one here is going to be a little taller than the others to look good, I think. But other than that, I am going to try to do this. So we get those soft rounded edges. And just by placing these, I think you already get the idea. And I think this looks really good, to be honest. Not to toot my own horn, but I do think it looks great. I am wondering how to sort of continue the roof part of this when we do stuff like this, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Maybe I should just add red ones. It's not going to be too easy. This is difficult in the sense that I have never done something like this before, where you build the front first and then just worry about everything on the inside afterwards. I have seen people do this before, but it's definitely not something I have done previously. However, I do like the look, and I do think I am sort of hitting the Art Deco style. Maybe sort of a canopy right here would look good, of some sort. Maybe if I have something that could make it half rounded, but yeah, we'll have to see about that. But I will try to make these turns here and make this a little taller. Here we go, I have made these arches here. Now I know that sort of the inside of this aren't really making an arch, but the outside I think is sufficiently doing that. So this is probably my best version of this for now. Again, if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to hear your suggestions. Right now I'm adding some tiles up here just to give it a little more finished look, which I think is going to be great. Yeah, this is really coming together, I think. Now I just need to make the top arch, and maybe, yeah, I was talking about a canopy down here. I think that would be a good idea, to have sort of a canopy over the door. That might look good. So here we go, making this finishing arch right here, and trying to add a canopy down here in some way. So here we go. These arches ended up looking quite good. I do like that depth it gives to everything, and I think the Art Deco style has been achieved to some level. Again, if you want to give me any suggestions, please do so in the comments below, and I'll be happy to hear about it. But I think I will be trying to add a small canopy down here right now. For the canopy, I'm taking advantage of the studs not on top style, so I can get this rounded shape on the edges. And you can also see that I put in a snot brick right here, and that's because I have an idea that I want to add some kind of sign on top of the canopy, but I don't really have an idea right now. But here we go, adding this in here, which I think, whoops, explosives capabilities, which is great for your Lego, isn't it? So here we go, and yeah, now I just need to add in the rest of this. Yeah, I'll be back shortly. So here we go, this is my idea for a front, and I think this looks pretty good. I like how this one breaks up the monotony of this big field over here. However, I also like that this field is so big, so that's pretty good. Now I need to figure out how to add the floors in here and also add a roof that gives some kind of meaning to add to this. You know, it has to fit this in some way, but I don't know if you should just do something that, you know, sort of extends a little further, and then we sort of have this as a front, or if I should just do something that follows this as a roof. I'll have to work on this, but firstly I think I've got to fill in these walls and such. Luckily I have a lot of panels and a lot of these here left, so that's going to be pretty easy, I think. So on we go, filling in the walls. So here we go. I was actually a bit surprised how many tan bricks I've got, but I remembered I have once parted out the Lockwood estate from the Jurassic World theme, and I'm pretty sure that was a lot of help in having a lot of tan lying around. Now I'm putting in a layer of tiles right here to make the classic, you know, detachable first floor. I made a small adjustment. As you might have seen, there was some tan sticking out here, but making this a whole unison facade front wall thing makes it a lot easier to fit in a plate here for the floor. So that's going to be done like this. And we are ready to continue. Now you may be wondering, how are the minifigs supposed to get to this floor? Well, that's actually pretty easy, because last time I put in a flight of stairs right here, which goes all the way up to the first floor of all 4 buildings, and that means I just have to make a small platform right here that they can actually use to enter both this building over here and this building here. So that means it's going to be a door somewhere around here inside this building. So it's going to be a small corner thing going on here. So that's how I am going to let the minifigures enter the first floor of this building. But on we go to designing the last part of this building, and yeah, we'll see how it goes from here. I chose to make the top floor, the first floor, a little smaller than the bottom floor, partly to save on pieces, but mostly because I then have a small little alleyway where if I just add a few steps here, you can actually go from the roof of this building onto the raised section of my building, and all the minifigures can go all the way from the lower floor of my city to the raised section. So that's pretty neat. And now I have designed another plate for my roof here, and what you need to do when you build big plates like this is add something that overlaps. This is actually 3 plates, a 2x6, a 6x6, and an 8x8 plate. So when you log them all together like this, that should do fine. I'll be adding this right here, and then we are good to go to design the roof. So this is my idea for a roof for now. I've made it decorative rather than functional, and that means that the back of it looks a little weird. Now, I don't know, eventually I might have an idea for how to change this, but I was imagining an antenna up here in some way, shape or form. Maybe if I get more tan bricks at some point, I could do something with having two of these arches, one in the front and one here on the back, and then have a small tan section in between the two, which might finish off everything a little better. But when you see it from the front, I do believe this looks very, very, very nice. Now, the only thing I need now really is to add a sign here. I was thinking something with letters standing atop each other. Remember, this is a radio station, so some kind of abbreviation. Now, there are some rules for how those names should look, especially in the US, where if you are on the West Coast, I believe you have to use the letter K as the first one, and if you're on the East Coast, you have to use the letter W. There is some city or some state that signifies that separation, but I can't remember which one it is. But as the real Bakersville, the real city that's called Bakersville is in California, I believe. So the radio station's name should start with a K, and as the K Bakersville Broadcasting Company would be KBBC. I think maybe if I can make that in some way, shape or form here, that would be neat. So that's the last thing I'm going to do today, try to figure out a sign. Don't know how well this will turn out because I have never ever made signs like this before, but we'll see. Here we go, this is the first letter, this is a K. I'm helping you a bit here because I'm not sure how obvious it is, but this is a K, so now I need a BB and a C. Again, I have never made letters such as these before, so this is a new thing for me, but it is quite fun though. Yeah, I'll continue this and we'll see how it turns out. Here we go, the KBBC sign. Don't know if I'm completely satisfied with the C. I wonder if it should just be... No, I think I'll leave it like this. And now I just got to figure out a way to put it up here on the front of the building. So we have the sign. I think a couple of jumper plates might do the trick. Wonder if I should add some kind of frame as well. Maybe. There we go, the KBBC radio station in all its glory. I will probably be adding some kind of antenna at some point. I just have to find a good idea, and I'm also running out of time for today. So that is why I will have to stop here. I will of course be finishing this up. Actually, I think I will be finishing all of this area up in one video at some point where I sort of adjust all the details in accordance with the suggestions I've gotten. But if you have any kind of suggestions for this, please let me know in the comments below. But for now, I want to go over to Bakersville and see how this looks when it's inside the city. I have rearranged the rest of the city. There was a park here before, but I think the new radio station will require a little more space, in the sense of if you want to be able to see it, you want more space than a big tree standing in front of it. So here we go, adding in the new building. Oh, it's gotten quite heavy. Like this, and of course this is probably the worst angle that I could choose for anything. I'll get you a better angle. This is a much better angle to see everything. Of course I need to do something with this right here. This has to have some kind of wall or finishing or something like that, but other than that it does look pretty neat here, I think. I do like the sign. I do like how this sort of fits into everything. I do like how this actually matches the beachfront pretty well. There's a beach right over here, or a harbor at least. So that's pretty cool. I do like this Art Deco style, and I think I have hit it somewhat nicely. Of course, any kind of suggestions are welcome, because I always like to improve my builds. I've just pushed a few things out of the way, and we can now see this a little better. I do like this. Yeah, I think this turned out pretty nice. I do like these shapes right here. The Art Deco style is a wonderful style that I can only encourage you to check out on your own. Do a little research. It is wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so this is the new radio station for Bakersville, the Bakersville Broadcasting Company. And with that, let's return to me and I'll say thank you for watching. That was my new radio station for Bakersville, the Bakersville Broadcasting Company. And I think this turned out pretty good. The Art Deco style is interesting, and I'm pretty sure I will be revisiting that style. I do have sort of another building already in mind, but that means I'll have to start working on buildings, custom buildings for the raised section of my city, and that is probably the next step I'm going to take after I've sort of finished off the current area I'm working on. That pub do need a roof, and there are some details with the camera store and the music store that does need some finishing. So maybe my next video will be on finishing that whole area, or I will be starting work on a new custom modular for my raised section. But that is all for me today. I hope you'll comment, like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you folks next Monday.